name is Mick Middleton. I moved up into Medlow Bath in 1978. I'm a member of Medlow Bath Rural Fire Service. Yeah, I started off at Londonderry Brigade. That's where I used to live back in the 60s and the 70s. I started there. I started going to the fire shed around 9-year-old. Went to my first fire when I was about 12, 13. Back them days there weren't really any rules on who went on the truck. We couldn't fit many on the truck anyhow because it was only an old Blitz all hands make light work back them days, and that's where I sort of started and got interested in it. And it was sort of like a family affair back them days. Everybody helped each other. Well, at the moment I'm not working. I worked on the main roads for 14 years. Then I got redundant from there back in 1990. I got a job with Sydney Water, doing broken mains and sewer chokes. I was there for about 25 years with Sydney Water. My father was in the fire brigade and my brother, and I think it is, it's still a family affair. You find most of the families are in the brigades these days. It sort of just carries on, and like I was with my brother as well, my older brother, and so we're always mainly together when we're out fighting fires and whatnot. So my brother dropped out of it a few years ago now. My father, well, he dropped out of it. He's been out of it for a while now. He's nearly in his 80s, or getting close to 80. So yeah, he's not doing it no longer. You sort of come to a time in your, you say, okay, enough's enough. Time to move on with something else. Yeah, both my boys were here. They've moved on now, but they started here as cadets. There was a whole heap of them, all grew up together. Mitch is the only one that's left at the moment. It's always been that way. You get in and help each other, and it's still, as far as I know, it still goes on today. You like to get in and help someone else that's in need or in trouble. And that's why I mainly do it to this day. I still do it and I still love it. It was down at where I grew up at Londonderry. It was down in Rickaby's Creek. I was with the captain. His name was Harry Hancock at the time. Walking through the creek, and it was mainly grass and bushfires back them days, and I remember jumping in the creek because we sort of got overrun. We were sort of trapped in there, and he told us to lay on our back into the creek. I remember laying there on my back, looking up, and I can see the fire going over the top of us, trying to not put my head up because he had his hand on me and he had to hold me down, so I didn't get up to have a look. The water was all black on top from the ash. Then he dragged me up and we got out and walked back out and sort of dried off and went on with life. So big changes today. You probably wouldn't be in that position, you know better, not to get caught in there. There's a lot more safety on it these days. Well, back them days there wasn't much training. You sort of went out and you learnt as you went along. You got a lot more protective clothing these days. You didn't go out in a pair of gym boots or something to fight fires, or shorts, like we used to do. You got safety blankets, and the trucks are well prepared now, so it's a lot better. It was good. It was exciting. It was scary. It was all those, and that's just where I started, and I kept doing it. So we had a lot of beaters, and we had old utes and trailers with 44-gallon drums of water on the back, and had a hessian bag. A lot of the grass fires, that's how we fought, with hessian bag, or even the old gum leaves off the gum trees. You rip off a branch and beat it out, chase it up the road or wherever it was going to put it out. Well, it's always been work. Most of my interest is the family, I suppose, seeing all the kids. I like going on holidays. I've got, was it 5 grandkids? So it's good catching up to see them. I've only just started going travelling, like overseas. That's only happened the last 2 years. I've never been out of the country before that, but we've done a couple of cruises and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I'd like to see more of Australia. We haven't done a lot because I've always worked, so I've always had a couple of jobs going at the time, trying to keep the food on the table and pay the bills off and stuff like that. So, and now it's a bit easier. The kids are all grown up and left home now. And I think it's just a friendship you make in the brigade. I still get excited going out to this day, like responding to a fire, and so yeah, it's probably just mainly the friendship and helping other people at the time. Because we're not just fighting fires, we do a lot of rescues. A lot of rescues over the years. The last 30 years we've done a lot of rescues. We do storm damage, flood damage. We've done a lot of flood damage. It's just helping people. People that can't really help themselves, or that they're in trouble or need our help, we'll go along. I moved up here in 1978. Not up here, I haven't been in any other brigades. Yeah, well, I'm the captain here, so I've been a captain for 20 years this year. They keep voting me in for some reason, but so I must be doing something all right. I'm right into giving everyone a fair go. They don't know what colour, what size or what disability they got. I'll give them a go. If they can handle it, well, that's good. You've got to have a certain amount of fitness, so you've got to be able to get in and out of the trucks and stuff like that. It's really important. Because I know we're not going to be around here forever. If you don't have good cadets trained up, ready to go, you won't have no one to step in and take your place. Like we could drop off the perch any time, but we're not here forever. So I like to get them trained up so they're capable of taking crews out. In my brigade here, I always says family come first, then your job, then the fire brigade. The cadets, I don't hold them back. I'll put them on through everything they want to do. If they want to do all these courses and that, go right ahead. But I've still got a few younger ones now. And as you can see, well, they're deputy captains now, a lot of them. And they're going really well. They work good out in the field and they can handle themselves. Well, tomorrow's cadet, her brother Ben was a cadet, Mitch was a cadet, they're all deputies now. And they're really good, they can handle themselves and they get involved in a lot of different other things in the brigade as well. I could have gone higher, but I didn't really want to. I just wanted to stay at this position. Because the next step is group leader. That's more involved. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to be in the trucks and fighting fire and stuff like that mainly. So yeah, so that's where I've been. Yeah. I don't really know. I haven't really looked up to anybody. I think when I joined this brigade, we're all around the same age, so we all sort of fed off each other. Like when we're out in the field, we looked after each other, had each other's back. I really didn't have anyone to look up to, like up on that. Like I said, we sort of fed off each other. So, and you learn more out in the field, what happens and what, how you're going to protect yourself and what really goes on out there. So, probably getting overrun on fires. We had a fire out at Mount Hay one night. We got the call about 10:30 at night. We were probably the second truck on the scene, and there was 5 fires going all the way along. The road's 38 kilometres long, The first 5 trucks went out right out to the end fire, which was the biggest fire at the stage. Well, we used all our water. We got the fire out at the end. We're on our way back in and we got caught in there. The fire was racing up towards all them other little fires, become one big fire. And it was going pretty hard to make a run for it to get out. Anyway, so we decided to make a run for it down this, had to come down a big curve off a hill, run down into a big dip and up the other side to get out of it. All my crew members were covered up in the back and in the side. I was driving the truck at the stage. South Katoomba had a little tiny truck, they went in front. In case something happened to them, we could at least push them out of the way or do something to help them. The fire was pretty hot, you couldn't touch the windows or nothing, it was melting the truck. All the side of the trucks are melting, the mirrors are melting off the trucks as we're going through it. Yeah, so we got out and one of the trucks couldn't make it, so he turned back. The truck that had a bit of water on. He turned back and he decided to light the bush up where he was and then park the truck in there. He come over the radio and said, we can't make it, we're going to see if we can hold it off or take cover. They took cover and so the radio went dead and everyone was just listening to Jim talking on the radio. It sounded like a cyclone was hitting the truck, the wind was so strong. That went on for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It seemed like forever. And the fire passed him and he come on the radio and said, yeah, we made it, we're still alive. That was a pretty big relief. Everyone just sort of said, oh shit, thank God for that. Yeah, so we sort of had to wait until all the fire burned out before we could get in there to get them. But that played a fairly big impact on us. Like, that was one of those moments you say, holy moly, a few more minutes and we would have been all dead. Back in 94 fires, that was a fairly touch and go. We were in the 94 fires and they decided to move us down to Mount Charles. We're in a bit of a ditch, a big dip. We've got Mount Charles and the next mountain beside it. And we're going to put a backburn in. So we all got out, got all the trucks ready, lined up, got all the dip torches and the hoses ready to go, and we're all down there and a chopper flew over and got on the radio and said, you got about 2 minutes to get out of there before you're cooked. So we just dropped and run. Everyone was back in the truck and we're driving up. We just got up there, the hoses were dragging behind the trucks. Didn't have time to roll them up. And this wall of fire that come through was probably about 200 metres high. Massive wall of fire. And when we left it, that was a good 10 k's away, the fire front. That's how quick it moved. If the chopper wasn't there, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, so we've been all over New South Wales and in Victoria and up the coast. And wherever they send us, really, where they've got big fires and they need a hand, we'll go and help. King Lake, that was another fire we went to. And well, why do you want to join? What do you expect to get out of it? These days, you've got to be a minimum 14 now for a junior. These days, well, the juniors, they come in, if they're pretty keen, we get them to come each week. We fill out their paperwork, see how they go, see how they handle it. We'll see if they show up each week or once a month, or put them through their paces on the truck, you know, hose roll and just a normal everyday stuff. There's no big pressure on them, so that's where it works. I suppose need it is one. Public notice, achievement, getting something out of it, not getting paid, you're doing something to help the community mainly, and friendship.